After doing a very in-depth spoiler review based off of your questions, and then doing a fun video that I really encourage you guys to go check out, where we ask the most puzzling questions after watching WW84, it's time to bring it home with Ryan George's pitch meeting for Wonder Woman 1984. Because after we did those questions, literally as I was like tagging, uploading the videos, like, man, I got way more questions. And then sure enough, you guys in the comments put way more questions down. And now let's see what Ryan George points out that we haven't even thought of ourselves. Let's see, there's some that I'm sure I'll be like, yeah, I thought of that, forgot to mention in our video. But I'm sure there's gonna be some where we're like, oh, that's such a good point, didn't even think about that.
Good points are tight.
And also for those asking, Cobra Kai reactions should start going up tomorrow. So keep a lookout for that.
So, you have a Wonder Woman sequel for me?
Yes, sir, I do. So we're gonna start the movie with Diana as a kid back in Themyscira.
Okay, and what's she up to?
Well, she's competing in the Amazon version of that TV show Wipeout, and she tries to use a shortcut to win and learns that cheating is wrong.
Sure, okay, that's a nice quick message to start the movie off.
It's gonna take a full 11 minutes. So then we're gonna jump forward to the 1980s, which is when this movie takes place.
Okay, so like 30, 40 years ago?
Oh, I don't enjoy that that's a true thing. So anyway, Diana's still super heartbroken about Steve Trevor dying in the first movie. He's all she can think about.
Really? After all that time?
Yeah, well, I mean, you gotta understand, this was a really good guy she knew for a couple of days, 7
Yes!
days ago.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
So anyway, Diana's working in Washington, D.C. at the Smithsonian, and she has a new co-worker named Barbara.
And what's her deal?
Oh, well, she's a freaking nerd, sir. She can't even walk in heels.
Oh, embarrassing, disgusting, and pathetic. I bet nobody likes her.
Yeah, and so there's this artifact called the Dream Stone, and that's what this movie's gonna focus on.
Embarrassing, disgusting,
This thing's freaking nuts. It grants wishes, but it takes something in return.
A very magical stone.
Yeah, and this phony business guy, Max Lord, he gets his hand on it, and he wishes to become the Dream Stone.
Oh, so he turns to stone?
You would think so, the way that was phrased, but no, now he can grant people's wishes when they touch him,
Such
and he
a
can
good
take
point.
something in return.
Do Barbara and Diana get wishes in before he does that?
They do. Barbara wishes to be more like Diana, so she gets some nice clothes and some super strength, and now she can walk in heels.
Now that's impressive, am I right?
Yeah, she's not pathetic anymore. Also, she removes her glasses, which, as you know, makes people automatically more attractive.
That's just good character development is what that is.
And so Diana's gonna wish for Steve Trevor to come back to life. And this way we can get Chris Pine back in the movie.
Oh, people like Chris Pine, so what, does he just appear out of thin air?
Actually, no, his consciousness goes into this random guy's body, so everybody sees this random guy, but we see Chris Pine.
So, okay, is this because the stone can't make things just magically show up?
No, it absolutely can. A giant wall's gonna appear out of nowhere,
Yes.
so are some nukes. I mean, the thing is magic.
Why are we doing this weird body control thing with Steve?
I don't know.
What happens to this guy's consciousness while Steve's controlling his body?
Who's to say?
You are.
Yeah.
What if
His
this guy has a job and a
consciousness.
family he has
Or
to get
other
to?
people who
the
wish for
implications are
dead loved
insane.
ones.
Where is his consciousness? Is he dead?
Oh, well, here's the
Where
thing,
is his
sir. I'm gonna need you to get
consciousness?
all the way off my back about this body control thing. Get off of it.
Oh, that felt vaguely threatening, so I'm gonna get off your back about that.
Right, and so then Steve and Diana, obviously, they get intimate because, you know, they love each other.
They do that using a stranger's body. That's got to be crossing a line. That's not okay.
Yeah, well, we're gonna have them do it anyway, and I find it strange that you immediately got back on my back about that.
I mean, it's actually a really easy fix. Just have Steve Trevor show up as himself.
no. So then that Max Lord guy makes himself super rich, and he goes to Egypt to take some guy's oil and make himself even richer.
Okay.
So Steve and Diana, they gotta get over there, you know?
How are they gonna do that?
Well, the thing is, they can't just take a commercial flight, because Steve doesn't have a passport.
Well, I mean, the guy he's possessing probably has one.
Yeah, well, they don't check for that. They head to the Smithsonian and steal one of the jets from over there.
They have operational jets at the museum.
They do, yeah. Fully fueled
Very
jets just
true.
lying around, so they take
Passport.
one of those, because Steve is a pilot.
Okay, he was a pilot in World War I. Those are different
Very
planes.
different.
Well, I mean, a plane is a plane.
Okay, yeah, that sentence is not technically wrong.
So there you go.
No, but okay,
Sir,
but
a plane is a plane. Are you implying that a plane's not a plane? Because a plane is a plane.
I mean, that's just such a
plane
vague
is a
general
plane.
A
statement.
plane is a plane.
Okay.
So then they're being chased because of the jet theft, and so Wonder Woman goes ahead and makes it invisible, and that's how she gets her invisible jet.
What? How?
Well, it turns out that's a thing she can do, so she does the thing that she can do.
Wow, well, thank God she has that ability we never once mentioned or referenced.
It works out great. So they go
Ever
to Egypt
again.
and they have a big chase scene with Max Lord.
Oh, very exciting.
But he friggin' gets away and he goes around causing a bunch more chaos. Then he goes to see the President of the United States.
What for?
Well, he gets the President to wish for more nukes, and then he sees this technology just lying around in the Oval Office, and it's exactly exactly what he needs.
What do you mean?
Well, it's this device that lets him take over everybody's screen around the world. So technically, through like satellite waves, he is, he's touching them.
How?
Oh, don't worry about it.
Oh, okay, I won't.
So then there's going to be this fight in the White House, and Barbara, she's turning evil, so she gets in on that too.
Okay.
And Steve manages to grab Max Lord.
Oh, and so he wishes for everything to go back to normal?
Oh, yeah, no, that would have been smart. Instead, he pushes him around a bit.
Also a decent strategy.
Yeah, so then Max Lord escapes and he heads off to the satellite island to do his broadcast.
Wow.
And Steve and Diana find out that everybody needs to renounce their wishes or else civilization's going to end. So they have this big emotional goodbye.
Oh, very sad.
Very sad. But then she starts to fly and lasso some lightning bolts, so that's pretty cool. That's not bad.
Oh, sure, yeah, that may as well happen.
So then Diana's going to have to fight Barbara, who, by the way, is a cat now.
What?
Yeah, she's a cat now. She's part cheetah.
What are you talking about?
Well, see, Max Lord was like, hey, anything else you want? And she's like, yes, actually, I would like to be an apex predator, please.
Oh, so she could have just as easily been turned into a killer whale.
Yeah, I guess there was a chance she could have turned into a, orca whale, but that would have made for a less interesting fight scene.
Oh, I wholeheartedly disagree.
Anyway, so we're going to have a barely visible fight scene, and Barbara's going to get electrocuted.
Oh, so she dies?
Well, no, she gets a little sleepy, which is what happens when cats get electrocuted.
That's not, no, I don't think that's accurate.
Well, that's what my dad told me when my childhood cat chewed through his extension cord.
Your cat died, I think.
No, sir, he went to sleep, then he went to live on a farm, and I never saw him again.
Ryan George has a cat.
Okay, so what happens next?
Oh, well, Max is granting wishes to everybody in the world through their screens.
Most of the world doesn't speak English.
Well, okay, yeah, I'll keep that in mind for trivia night, I guess. That's interesting. Anyway, it's going to be complete chaos.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, people are killing each other with wishes. One guy gets a farm outside his apartment. People can wish for anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's going to be nuts.
Statistically speaking, wouldn't at least one person wish for the guy that just showed up on their TV to die or for the world to end? Wouldn't at least one person wish for world peace? What happens with that paradox?
Well, I mean, that's like a 1 in a million kind of wish, right?
There are billions of people.
We're just full of fun trivia tonight. So anyway, Diana has to lasso this guy, but her lasso can't get through this mysterious wind around him.
Oh, wow, it's going to be tough for her to defeat him if she can't reach him.
Actually, it's going to be super easy. Barely an inconvenience.
Oh, really?
Yeah, see, she gets her lasso around his ankle, and then she can talk to everybody through him.
I thought she couldn't get through with that thing.
Oh, yeah, no, she couldn't. But then she could.
But how? Well, okay then.
So then she tells everybody to renounce their wishes, because nothing good comes from lying.
And everybody does it.
Everybody does it, including Max Lord, who suddenly cares about his son that he's been actively ignoring the whole movie.
And so what about, what if someone with a terminal illness wished to be cured?
They would have to renounce that, because that's not the truth.
What if a blind person wished to be able to see?
That's a shortcut to being able to see. So that's wrong.
What if somebody wished to be able to feed their starving child?
Yeah, okay, this moment only works if everybody wishes for something selfish or violent, so we're gonna have to pretend like that's the case, okay?
Oh, pretending is tight. Okay, let's do it.
Okay, thank God. So then Max Lord is gonna go reunite with his son, who just kind of comes running out of the woods for no reason.
How did Max Lord get back from the island if he renounced all his wishes?
Unclear.
And what happens with Barbara?
Oh, well, she's not a cat anymore, and she's chilling, I imagine.
Okay.
Anyway, then Diana's gonna have a little flirty moment with the guy who Steve was controlling. It's gonna be very sweet.
He's already seen that guy naked.
Yeah, just a real sweet moment. It's gonna be Christmas too.
I don't know if it being Christmas makes it better.
And then she looks at a balloon, and we're all done. So what do you think?
I mean, I feel like using a strange man's body is just so deeply strange and raises so many messed up questions.
Right. Well, maybe nobody will think of how weird it is.
Well, yeah, I guess that is a possibility. Okay, let's do it.
Hell yeah.
Hey guys, Ryan here. Thanks for watching
Hell
that
yeah.
pitch meeting. I hope you liked it. If you did, press
I
the
did.
like
That was
button,
great.
the subscribe button, and
Wrote
the
down
comment and all the YouTube
6 things I did not
Also, let me know
talk
if you have
about.
ideas for other movies I should do pitches for. As always, check back soon for a new video. Bye-bye.
Bye, Ryan George.
Bye, Ryan. That was great. All right, so I wrote down a few things that definitely were not really touched on, whether our spoiler review or WTF one. I mean, that was hilarious, as expected. Every pitch meeting is great. I haven't seen a bad pitch meeting. He's solid. He's talking about the opening, of how that goes on for 11 minutes. That goes on way too long, and I've heard the arguments back and forth. Is that opening even all that necessary for this movie? Like, we already kind of have 2 openings in this film as it is. I want to point out something that actually really irked me the first time I saw it that I don't hear anyone talk about. I hated the cliche moment when little Diana is riding her horse and going through all these crazy obstacles and everything, and then she gets hit by a bush.
That's just one little branch of a tree.
One little branch of a tree, which happens to be the shortcut right there. Give her the That moment is the part that really annoyed me out of all that. Like, you mean to tell me this little warrior woman who's just done all the craziest, most impossible things gets hit by the cliche bush? Really?
All
Really?
this hyper awareness demonstrated of her surroundings.
The rules of the stone are so back and forth and all over the place and jumbled. When he points out, so Maxwell Lord, he so he turns into the stone? Yeah. I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. By the way, he phrased that question. Wouldn't he be could just turn into the stone?
I think that would have been a much funnier way for this to play out. He's just immortalized there forever. Nobody gets to make any more wishes. The movie's over.
So solid. And like, yeah, we've talked plenty about the whole thing with why couldn't Steve have just appeared instead of just appeared in some guy's body? And out of all the questions that were raised from that, and we've raised quite a bit too, what happens to the guy's consciousness? I never even thought about that simplistic part of it.
Yeah, where does it go? Is it forced to the back like a demon possession? Or
Yeah.
is it just nowhere for right now? Is it some purgatory state?
Is it existing in some type of like soul, ethereal plane type of arena, you know?
Yeah, he's stuck in the movie Soul.
Yeah, he's one of the little blue guys.
He's been pushed out of the wrong body that counts off. Well, and this made me wonder too, and I hadn't even thought at the time, what about all the other people who probably wished for loved ones back? Are there a whole bunch of other people getting body swapped as well?
Yeah.
Like, it really does seem like there are a lot of things that I feel like you can actually let go of if you want to not nitpick, but this is one where I'm like, why did they make a specific device out of this when you know that like half the world's gonna wish for a loved one back?
Exactly.
Perhaps, you know?
Exactly. I mean, he points out the thing too about the passport situation, about how that guy probably had a passport.
Yeah.
And they didn't even think about that either.
No, well, and the Smithsonian just keeps fully stocked jets on hand, I guess. I didn't know that.
I love that whole, the plane is a plane.
Plane's a plane.
Plane's a plane.
Yep.
It makes no sense.
No matter what
I can
era.
flick some, I'm familiar with buttons, yeah. I can
Yeah,
fly.
it's all the same, even though this got jets on it now.
Maybe there's a way to argue this point that he makes about how when Steve has Maxwell Lord pinned up, how Steve in that moment, because Diana made the wish to bring Steve back, but Steve hasn't made his wish yet. So Steve could make that wish, put things back to normal, or leave the stone, or something like that.
Yeah.
Like he can make some kind of wish himself, but doesn't that whole time. That thought never occurred to me. And maybe they didn't know if that's the way to do it or the way to go about it, or like, oh, there was probably some bigger end game they needed to solve first. I don't know, something. It stands to reason that he could have made that wish in that very moment, too.
Yeah, and I hadn't even thought of that, but that's a perfect point. Seems like it's well within Steve's motivations and whatnot. I'm a little surprised that nobody caught that in the
Yeah.
scripting process, you know?
The other part, this is so true. Most of the world doesn't speak English. And he's broadcasting this out to the whole world. And most of them don't speak English. Such a great point.
Like, do they have a live translator on hand
Yeah.
for this, like, interruption no one planned for?
I mean, the paradox of the wishes, or the contradictory wishes, has been one of the biggest debated parts of this. Of like, wait a minute, there's billions of people and they're all making wishes. Some people are bound to make wishes that just contradict each other. So how do you make them all come true? But the part about the English moment, that's true. Yeah, most don't speak English. Oh, Ryan George is the best. You know, Ryan George really is the best. It's weird how it's like, it's come from like cinema sins to honest trailers, and then you just got this one guy.
One
One guy talking back and forth.
who's both poking the holes,
become
but
my-
also having the fun.
Who's
It's
become my
perfect.
favorite. This is so solid. Well, guys, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to Pitch Meeting. Check out our videos that we've done on Wonder Woman 1984 as well. Hit that like button. We'll catch you guys soon.